start your questioning again.
This conversation is going to be recorded for training purposes.
And 50% proprietary rights come to David Peterson.
Yeah, no
social anxiety.
No financial advice given. So, the thing that people need to understand with anytime you're solving a real world problem in a third density of duality, you're going to create a real world problem. There's always, for every action there is an opposite or equal reaction.
Yeah.
So if you're going to solve the real world financial system in a way that has never been done before, the universe doesn't care what you say. It doesn't care what you do. It doesn't care what you think. It only responds to how you feel. So if you're looking from a financial aspect of solving a real world problem with currency or energy,
which is the duality side.
Right, you've got to look at the duality of what feels good, because the universe only responds to how you feel.
I want to break it down more practical.
That's the war on drugs.
I want to break it down more practical.
That if you're creating
our society as a whole,
if you're creating something that solves a real world problem based on emotional intelligence and feeling, your greater opposite or equal reaction for the problem in the pendulum is going to be what currency was used for people to feel good, and that's drugs. So now you get down to the spiritual aspect of things, because that's big pharma going out.
Currency in itself is energy as a river.
Everything is energy.
Right, but current, sea, water, sea, current, flow, direction. Current sea as a whole, in societal norms, most people don't have the pull back the curtain financial world in which we are discussing currently.
No, most
people don't understand that world.
The narrative that has been painted with the illusion is you get all of your decisions made
based off what you see and hear.
The SEC's first initial decision was made the day everybody was in Texas staring at the eclipse.
Well, the SEC is called the Security and Exchange Commission, and their job as a whole is to protect the American people from fraudulent companies stealing their money. However,
which is the Ponzi scheme they have been doing.
They put certain seeds they've planted for their narrative of global takeover, which is the one world order.
The one world order. I can go with that.
Yeah, and so that's the Charles Schwab. Well, if you've never heard of Charles Schwab is a head of this group called the WEF, the World Economic Forum, which they get the richest 1% of the people in the world, and they make decisions amongst themselves of how the world's going to get cultivated for the future. However, they are no governments. However, they can plant government in government, because they have the money to do so. So when the Muppet and Puppet Masters control the narrative and control the financial system and control the bosses, the bridges, the presidents, the you name it, they pay for it, they own it. Whether we like it or not, that is a reality, which has a lot to do with duality, because for those of us who know, we know the truth. However, when we speak our truth, what do we get? We get the common three denominators. You don't know what you're talking about. That's conspiracy theory. La, 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 la. Don't want to hear what you have to say. On the flip side of the duality, on the other side of that coin, you have ignorance. You have people that have been so sensitized to all the information that's been embedded to them over the years of commercials, TVs, radios, their friends, their co-workers, and the church in which they advise to.
Go ahead.
So you put all that together in one big ass pot and you stir that shit around. What do you get? You get mass psychosis of ignorance. Ignorance at its highest order, because when all the ignorant people are doing the ignorant thing and they're all thinking they're right, when they're actually wrong. When the truth comes out, and the truth will be revealed, it will not only shock and awe those who never listen, but the ones who've heard a fragment will be disbelieving. They will not believe. And then they will label it as devilish, evil, and they will rise up against the one thing that could set them free.
Give you a little background. How old were we when we had our cards read? Our first tarot card reading, we were together.
19?
Yeah, probably about, well,
19.
yeah, about 19, 20 years old.
Yeah, give or take.
Anyway, our entire reality has been based on prophecy, synchronicity, and spiritual awareness since then, leading to my near death. So,
well, mine too.
So,
3
yeah,
times.
You're thinking. Generally, it's going to be your most traumatic events that create the awakening in someone. Great
I think
loss.
The awakening is going on right now as we speak.
It's as within, so without. You have to have a great loss for a great gain to have room to come in. And when it's soul loss, you're going to have soul gain. And the spiritual world comes with spirits. I hate to break that to you. There's not too many of us that are experiencing. There's not too many of us that are experiencing the spiritual, paranormal aspects, such as some of us. However, being able to see through the veil, being able to see energy, doesn't take falling off of a roof or having a ladder or having a major drug overdose. Anyway, moving forward. If you're looking at the greatest transfer of wealth since the fall of Rome that happens every 100 years, you have all of the HSPs, Starseeds, indigos, crystals, rainbow, whatever label, that's the thing.
Whether you're from the light or the dark side.
I take the INFJ label because it explains my cognitive functions. What does that mean? I'm not left or right-handed. I think with creative logic. So, thinking with creative logic, being able to see through the veil and knowing that you have the HSPs, the highly sensitive people that feel it coming. Oh my God, this energy is overwhelming. Well, yeah, every 100 years is the greatest transfer of wealth. This has never been done before. And the last time they did it, it was the Great Depression, the 1920s. So if you've got people feeling an ecstatic good energy coming, like most of us, well, that means that we're in a paradigm shift. And in that paradigm shift, you're going to have very, very magical things happening. And by magical, I mean, here it comes. If you're transferring from the 1% over to the new Earth, then that's going to be Google Earth. Well, if you go in a straight line where there are no straight lines, you're going to end up with Apple Air. And then Apple Air is going to become Amazon Fire. And then Amazon Fire is going to go to the currency, Ripple Water. Now, if you have Ripple Water controlling the entire liquidity pool of the entire planet, that means what? You're going to have to add in CERN. Oh my God, CERN is opening up portals.
Which is the first
CERN
word
is also CERN is also alchemically making gold out of thin air. So if you know that, confirmation on that 844. So see them spiritual shinky dinks? My phone just vibrated and I get a little slap in the side of the head. Said they touch me. It's, when you have guides, how do they guide you? Activating the light body, being able to see through the veil, being able to go through all the work that we have gone through, it now comes down to Christ consciousness. If you've got past, present, and future possibilities happening simultaneously, and you know that they are about to combine those 4 elements at 844, which is earth, wind, water, and fire, with 2 more elements of metal, which would be CERN. If they're making gold, there is your alchemical
component
point. That comes to a point on what? On a star. Now you go to another point, which is either going to be China or Russia wood. And it looks like they're working together in this space with water flowing, both of them side by side.
Everything.
So now that is
good and evil is all
a 6-pointed star. You take that 6-pointed star and you surround it. Ooh, that's a wreck. There's a sign, universe. Welcome to Louisiana. Wonderful. We're in Louisiana. Imagine that. And there is traffic from a wreck a mile long. Anyway, so yeah, here comes the wreck spirit. So if you have those 6 points combined with Tesla, Lone Star, SpaceX, seceding from whatever separated states you live in, then you have the alchemical whole of the mark of the beast. That would be the pentagram. Now that can be looked at 2 ways. You can look at it as the yin-yang, because the yin-yang is the exact same alchemical symbol. However, it spins 2 directions, black and white. There is the black Nike swoosh and the white Nike swoosh. And you just do it. Right, you do it. If you're Sonic the Hedgehog and you're running through game theory, grabbing coins and saving princesses with 5-star reviews, it's just what it is. Crash Bandicoot. You can turn this in to everything that Dolores Cannon was talking about, which is welcome to the new earth. You can look at it as the mark of the beast. Oh my God, we're being controlled. We have to use our palms to pay for stuff, and we have to fucking. But
or you can live your best life.
Right. You have to look at it.
Here.
That's
excuse my French, folks, but we got a Honda wanna die.
We got a little Honda wanna die cutting us off. Anyway, so here's the thing. You have to look at it one of 2 ways. Past, present, and future possibilities happening simultaneously. You can use your Christ consciousness to flip the tables on them. Is this oak?
Listen to yourself. It will guide you well.
Right. When the student is ready, the teacher appears, and the most beneficial teacher to any last person listening to this is going to be your intuitive soul. Whether you believe in yourself or not, you are a God-conscious creator being. And that's what it's going to come down to. You are either
with us or against us.
There is no us in there. It's 100% within the individual. It's within the individual. You're either for yourself as one, looking at everyone as seeing the same divinity and everyone else that is inside yourself. But we got backdrop people. We cannot deny. Those of us that are seeing energy, you cannot deny seeing through these people's forms. I have seen people with no auras on a regular basis. You got to think, when they tell you that the movie They Live was a documentary, they're absolutely correct. John Carpenter got death threats. That's what they say. However, we're able to see the command symbols all around us, and the sunglasses represent opening your third eye. So it's what it is.
It's shading the dark from the light.
It's shading the dark from the light, but embracing your shadow side, embracing your dark side is exactly what Carl Jung talked about. And you've got, for every action, there is a greater or equal opposite reaction. So for the masses that are still asleep, that are being controlled, that's absolutely going to be the mark of the beast to them. It's already been done. You can't even fathom. There's no such thing as time.
To believe
it's
one
pre-programmed to believe one thing, but you've also got to look at it a second way of the opposite side of the pendulum, which would be we are healing with our hands, and we have opened up the third eye. Now, healing with your hands and opening up your third eye makes you a beast. And I hate to say it, but you're a beast to Big Pharma. You're Police One put out they're the scam reporters. They put out a skeptic's guide to Reiki yesterday. I was flabbergasted. I was like, man, it's the most beautiful thing. The only negative thing you can find about Reiki or universal life force's intent to help or heal, 70% of all medication is placebo effect.
90% is placebo.
My 5-star reviews didn't come from you not being able to feel the energy that comes off of the situation.
I would like to make a few statements, Scott, if you don't mind.
Absolutely, go for it.
In this world that we call society, societal norms or societal craziness, whichever your stance is in life. There's one certainty that I've noticed over the years that I've been alive on this planet that we call Earth, is that everything you thought you knew, you think you know, or think you're going to know
is a Mandela effect.
Is completely and utterly a fabrication of a narrative that was spread many years before you were born and carried through generational life. Parents, grandparents, you hear the sayings, what goes up must come down, what goes around goes around. There's a bunch of them. However, when you dissect those sayings, you'll find out the truths of what they meant and what they mean based on something they were fighting about a long time ago. Medical field, as an example. It is a business.
This is not medical advice.
It is a business to make money off the sickness of the food in which they make you sick on purpose. Your food, your medicine, your lawyers, your doctors, your tax advisors, your financial advisors. They all have a job which is scripted by what they're supposed to do. They're not supposed to cure, simply treat. They're not supposed to make you rich, just simply survive. And when it comes to society and the new world that we're moving into, throw everything you've ever learned out the window and start anew. Listen to your guides, listen to your gut, listen to your sound self, and the only way to get to that level where you are cognitive to that ability is to isolate and have conversation with self for at least 2 hours and talk to yourself in a mirror, because you will not lie to you.
You have to have a great loss.
And if you
have to lose.
But there's always a start for a beginning and always a beginning for a start.
You have to lose everything that did not serve you to make room
and
for
the reason we're in this
will.
situation because we've done just that. But for those people who are listening to us, we're paying attention. If there's a will, there's a way. Okay? And I'm going to say this. Life and everything you do in it is your conscious choice. Whether you choose to believe or disbelieve,
you're right.
You're absolutely right. But I can tell you one thing for certain. You talk bad to yourself, bad things happen. You talk good to yourself, and good things will happen. Which one do you want?
If you take two dogs and you put them side by side and throw a blanket over both of their heads, you're going to have one dog that wiggles around, will not, let's use the dog because it's the opposite of God. So, you're going to have it wiggle around. If you reach down and touch that blanket, that dog could bite you. That dog could think you're trying to help it get out from under the veil.
I think it's trying to hurt it.
That dog's going to know intuitively there is something on the other side of that veil that's been placed over top of their head. However, you're also going to have another type of dog. When that hemp blanket gets thrown over top of that dog's head, it's going to stand.
He's the dog.
It's going to stand there numb and motionless, paralyzed, because it thinks that the world no longer exists. The world that it came from, the world that it was used to. Now, my question is, which one of those is a marked beast? The intuitive dog that'll bite you? That can't be controlled? That uses its free will and sovereignty to protect itself and others on the other side of a veil that is an absolute illusion? Or the dog that just stands there and acquiesces and takes the shot from the vet without a fight? And that's what it is. I mean,
once again, we're faced with duality.
We are faced with duality.
Everything's choices. Choose to believe or choose some societal norm to be your salvation, which will lead you to damnation. Guaranteed.
When I do QHHT sessions, I'm continuously reminded, without a shadow of a doubt, what Alan Watts taught in the 70s. Alan died in the 70s teaching about the wheel of karma. If you're not familiar with the wheel of karma, it's the wheel of fortune in tarot. Look it up. Check it out.
Yeah.
It's the same story of the Buddha. He was born in royalty, had no idea of the duality of homelessness and suffering. The minute he experienced a straight line across that wheel of karma, he was one with the wheel of karma. He was one with everything. When I do QHHT sessions, you will have the client literally wake up on the opposite side of the wheel. You'll have clients come in that, are having a spiritual awakening. It's undeniable. They think they're going crazy. Once you assure them that they're not going crazy, they're just waking up, then it becomes the process of, well, am I going to make Jesus unhappy? Well, hun, the universe is inside you. Jesus and the devil. You have to fight your demons.
Look in the mirror.
You have to fight your demons.
Just met him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tezcatlipoca is the mirror realm. So it's what it is. We can't figure out how the pyramids were built. Well, hell, your Catholic Spaniards.
You weren't born in fucking whatever year that was. So stop trying to figure shit out that you'll never know the answer to.
We're going to burn the Lord of Sorcery's
kind of like the Age of the Dinosaur, which is bullshit.
We're going to burn the Lord of Sorcery's books because it has evidence of the Pyramid of the Magician being raised overnight.
Are giants real? Yes. Are they petrified mountains? Yes.
Are they
Do you believe that?
Himalayan salt?
Because you didn't never see the evidence.
Yeah, and that's just it. Hidden in plain sight. They call it the Himalayan mountains because Himalayan.
It's giant blood.
Himalayan. Them giants is laying in the mountains.
That's scary to think. That's
scary to think. They hide it in plain sight. They have to tell you. They believe in karma. They believe in the wheel of fortune.
So when they use the truth,
when they use the truth as a joke, they put it out there. It's up to you to accept or reject it. What you allow into your subconscious mind through your free will has nothing to do with them. They told you. He who is deceived, be deceived.
And the Bible's the greatest book ever written because the stories in it are true and the lessons are real.
Right.
However,
there's a macrocosm, microcosm to each one of those prophecies. Right. For every action, there is a pendulum reaction.
Let's use the word love. I love you has a meaning. That I'm in love with you has a different meaning. And then you're nothing but true love. Yeah. Or I got nothing but love. Each one of those words, all spelled the same, all sound the same, have different meaning. Do you think the English language does the same thing? Well, let's get back to the basics. Let's break down words into syllables, and then let's dissect the meaning of those syllables so we understand the language in which we speak, because we are ignorant to the fact that words that we use on a daily basis have more than one meaning that we use them for. And that's not an English lesson, that's a life lesson, because if you don't know you're being screwed, and you can't read between the lines literally, then you are forever abrased to what you believe is your truth.
It has been said, there are those who see, those who will see when shown, and those who cannot see, which is understandable. However, for anyone who feels they can see if they were shown, look into QHHT. Dolores Cannon left us with one of the most unique abilities to play a movie in your head to give you the answers that you seek and answer any question. Working under Joe Kokoskis and studying with him, my gifts, clairsentient and claircognizant. I got no clue how I know, but I have a feeling I'm going to find out. Now you add clairvoyant into it. Now you're able to close your eyes and see what's up. I know it's a piece of paper. I can feel it's a piece of paper. Now I can see the lines on that piece of paper.
And now I see the words backwards and I can read it.
You can write your own reality on the wall.
That's right. Who needs a pen or a pencil when you have thought? And thought's the greatest gift that God gave us. However, thought can create, thought can destroy.
For every thought, it's a whole thought. For everything positive through, we live in a world of left, right, up, down, side, side, top, bottom. We live in a world where there is an opposite. So everything that you do of a positive nature, expect a negative result in the whole. At least let the negative results be something that serves the highest good of all. There's just certain things we can do without. I can always clean my house. I can always make the neighbor a lunch.
And on the back end of that polarity, we always say, I don't have enough time to clean my house. I don't have time to... Well, first of all, your first mistake is if you're using the word time as a reason, well, first you need to be acknowledged that time does not exist.
If you want to transcend time...
You got to first
in the
believe that time
eyes
is
of the universe.
The essence.
Cool. Where does time exist? Under the sun? Great. Go on the other side of the sun. If it doesn't exist there in the universe, it doesn't exist here in the universe. Using it as a measurement.
Oh, we got traffic jam.
Yeah, we got a big old traffic jam.
Yeah.
But anyway, we've probably lost most of the attention. With the human attention span is only 8.25 seconds.
To that.
So we're at
that'll have to be chopped up and edited big time.
That's what it is. However, ask lots of questions. If there's
no such thing as a dumb question ever. And if everybody says there's a dumb question, there's not.
No. You can't put those words together if it didn't exist.
Well,
the stupid question is the one you don't ask to get the answer to.
Well, the stupid question gets to the right question and then gets to the answer. But if you never have the guts to ask the question, whether it's dumb, stupid, or indifferent, then how are you going to know your answer? Because everybody's at different levels at different times. And societal and chemical and spiritual and cultural, we're all different. We all have different backgrounds and understandings of things. Some things may be normal, some things are abnormal, some things don't make sense at all because you've never been shown what you don't know. And what you don't know, you don't know. And that's a fact. And not everybody knows everything, but 49 years on this planet have shared a lot of knowledge that I can definitely tell you, since I've gone spiritual, it has been the best existence of my life.
Spiritual path is the hardest path, and the hardest path always comes with the greatest
It was
blessing.
the hardest one to get into because of a belief system that was so ingrained and embedded as a societal norm that it was taboo, it was not looked upon, and it was either witchcraft, devil worship, or this or that. And I think the reason it was labeled as such, because it fucking raised your consciousness to beat the system in which they imposed us and put us in jail.
You have to look at anything that is prophetic, that says fortune tellers and psychic awareness is of the devil. Cool. That's how prophecy is found, through fortune tellers and psychic awareness. So,
and astrology, numerology.
That being said, it's
all about the Bible.
Every religious text is a tool. Yes. I'm not going to say that the masses need to be controlled, but if you have a Ferrari and a 3-year-old that will steal it, will you really show that 3-year-old soul where you hide the keys to the universe?
Or teach them how to shift the gears.
One of your most magical texts on the planet is the Kabbalah, and you have to be 50 years old in the Jewish tradition to even be allowed to read it. And now it's on Audible for the regulars and the normies that 99% of it will go over their head.
Everybody wants a shortcut to life, but there is no shortcut to life.
There is no shortcut. Everybody wants to manifest. Great. Are you matching the frequency? What you're attracting is attracting you. And whatever you're vibrating at through your frequency is the channel you're on. It's what it is.
It's like a radio.
The human race, you keep hearing it said, it is what it is. Stay
I wonder
in your
why
lane.
They call it the human race. It's not like we're all running somewhere.
Absolutely we are. We're all going to the same place on a 6-lane highway. Stay in your lane and understand
is a double katana.
Some of the vehicles are vibrating in blue. Some of the vehicles are vibrating in gray that has to pee.
Oh, you can't take
You sure can. You're going to have to hold it in the construction zone. No sex in the champagne room. There's no peeing in the construction zone. That's my cup.
Dr. Pepper said it. Just what the doctor ordered. I gotta put my Dr. Pepper.
The human race is on a 6-lane highway.
No, we're not. We're on a fucking.
Some of us are going 55. Some of us are going 75. Some are going slower than the speed limit.
This is what the future brings.
Some are hauling ass. The thing is, some are driving side by side, able to see what kind of.
Someone's giving me whiplash.
Everybody's able to, some people are able to look over in the car beside them and see what kind of bubble gum the cute girl's chewing. So it's what it is.
As she pulls it off her ear and nose. Popping the bubble.
Hey, how many times have you seen?
Get us off.
Have you seen something inside the car beside you that you couldn't quite understand, and you sped up instead of slowed down?
Jesus, that's a freaking.
This is very narrow. This is a very narrow path that we're going through right here. However, we made it like a game of Operation without any in the middle of it. So
exit
here we go. Airline drive. That's enough of that.
Yeah, that's.
Everybody have a beautiful day.
Namaste. Take a left.
Enjoy and.
In 1,000 feet, merge onto I-20 East.
Pay attention to everything.
Good God Almighty.
Everything. Do not take anything in this illusion of a holographic 3D reality for granted. Ask questions about everything. Namaste.
And Dr.